Welcome to the Localpreneur Show, a podcast dedicated to featuring community-based entrepreneurs, the principles they live by, and the success they're having making a difference in the world. Here's your host, Austin Kane.
Well, hey, Brad, thanks for jumping on here with me today and joining me on the Localpreneur Show. Really glad to have you here and feature you guys as a guest on one of our episodes. So, Brad, tell me and the world who watches this afterwards, tell us a little bit about yourself, a little about your company and where you guys are from, what you guys do, and just tell us a little about yourself.
Okay. Well, I'll kind of start off with me before Greenworks. I kind of had an interesting journey to get there. I've did a lot of jobs in things and different stuff like that when I was growing up and going through the world. Just kind of wanted to focus and work on my shortcomings. So I did some things. I wasn't real good at confrontation, which a lot of people aren't, but I decided to try to do something to be a little better at that. So I became a bouncer. Probably wouldn't suggest that for most people. I'm sure there's plenty of safer options where you don't get stabbed. That's a whole different story. I figured out I was kind of scared of public speaking. So I started doing DJ, so you talk between the songs, and that led to an on-air radio show for me, and then ended up becoming a teacher. So, doing that on a daily basis. So I just a little bit different path to get there. And then I started my own business for a little while, realized that I really didn't do a good job at getting into that business and really didn't know as much about it as I probably should have before I got into it. So after getting out of that, I'd say successfully, because we didn't lose anything, but I ended up going and taking a manager role with a very successful grocery chain and learned a lot. Back to, learning to have those hard conversations and learning a lot about the business and the numbers and everything like that, how things work in those bigger corporations was very eye-opening for me. I think I learned a lot more in a shorter amount of time than I would if I'd have just went to school and tried to get an MBA or something like that. So, you can only put your money out there and throw it all on the line so many times before you're like, maybe I should do a little more learning about this.
Yeah, no, but that's awesome. You have a challenge or you face adversity, you just jump right in and figure out a role that is going to face you with the most adversity that you have the fear of, and then you challenge it. So that's awesome. That's pretty cool to hear. You don't hear that every single day from somebody.
Well, I mean, you just see it as you're growing up. If you sit back and be observant, you see the people who are trying to avoid all these things that they don't want to do aren't typically successful. So, I've kind of always tried to lean into the hard things, and it sucks. It's not a lot of fun, but it's a lot of times it is the one thing that you really need to do. So that's kind of what I did there.
Yeah.
Now I ended up, I like I said, I did a lot of other things, and I think that'd be a whole different interview if we wanted to go through all the past jobs that I did. But all of them ended up really chasing money, and I found out that that's not really a career path itself. And eventually I had to find the thing that made me happy. You had to kind of find your passion, like everybody says. And once you kind of figure out what that is, you can start doing all things to get there. Everything in your life can point that same direction. So that's kind of the path that I started taking after that. Luckily, kind of fell into a role where I get to do that. Figured out that it was like helping people in one way or other, whether it's clients or employees or whatever that is something that makes me really, I'm really passionate about. I love doing those things. So I got lucky and got into Greenworks, and they gave me the chance to have a role where I actually could do some of those things and shape my own roles, because it's such a fast growing company.
Yeah.
So, it's definitely something that you don't get to run into in a lot of places. So they gave me that opportunity, and my role now is really to grow and provide opportunities for the people in our company, my environmental and vertical and all the other projects that I I really get to be part of at Greenworks.
That's awesome. And that's really the whole point of the Localpreneur show that we started here this year was, we wanted to come up with something different. We didn't want to just do a normal podcast. We were talking about marketing and the things that we do. We really wanted to talk about our clients and the local home service companies that are making a difference in their communities, wherever it is, wherever they are. We've worked with hundreds and hundreds of different companies over the years in all kinds of different places, whether it be US or Canada. And we've seen this common thread, and it's some of the things that you've been mentioning is that, they all give back to the community or their employees, and want to make it a better place to work, and change the lives of people that work for them or people that come to them for services. So that's kind of what this show is about, is sharing those stories, highlighting highlighting Greenworks, some of the things that you guys do and give back on. So, I'll kind of dive into the first question here, Brad. Tell me and tell everybody about the impact that your organization makes in the local community.
Greenworks doesn't focus on, like any big charities or anything like that. We do donate to, sports teams and sponsor other things that we do come across, smaller projects and stuff like that. Our kind of main focus goes more to our employees, honestly. We really found out early on, and I've had several people comment to me about, after meeting our teams, and just say, you just have a bunch of great people. And, we started with a core of those really good people. And then we started looking for some of the same type of personality traits and things like that we worked well with, and we were looking for to become a company. So we kind of developed it from there. And part of doing that and keeping those people that we really want to keep is the fact that we try to give back to them in a lot of different ways. We do a people first culture is what we call it. So, our success has been very intentional. We hired a culture person, a chief level culture person who focuses on our teams, and we try to do stuff that we can definitely build our teams and have a lot of fun while we're doing it. We do happy hours, we do trips and different things like that to try to bring our teams closer together and really get to build our culture and enjoy being around a bunch of good people. We've worked really hard to get our people good benefits. Being a smaller company that came up really quickly, it's definitely a challenge. And we always try to do anything that we can for them. We do giveaways. We've given away Apple Watches and cash prizes and extra time off. Just trying to make our people happy and reward them when they're doing a good job. So that's a lot of the things that we do. We also do a lot of personal development training. We have a company called IEB that we work with, and they're really focused on how to make innovative businesses, about how you go about your day to day and interact with your people and hire and and do all the different things. So we get them training in that and let them listen to those different things. We actually start our own leadership program inside the company. Our vice president of inspections started that, and it's really been his passion project. And we told him early on that this isn't about work, whether you're going to be a leader in Greenworks or you're going to move on and live your life outside of us. We just want to be able to give back to you. So even if you never want to be a leader, we want you to be able to do this, and maybe it helps your life be a little bit easier, a little bit better. And if you stay with Greenworks, then we know that you kind of have the same mindset that we do, and that's bringing a great team closer together. And we don't talk about work. We just try to sit back and have fun and try to give the most that we can out of that. And we've also started talking about helping do some things for retirement and things like that, because the 401k is not always the best option for people, and some people just don't understand it or nervous about it. So we're trying to offer some investment opportunities through some different paths that will actually kind of help them today and in the future start planning for their retirement as well. And that's all going to be done within Greenworks. And, we're not going to take any fees out of any of that or anything. So it's just, what can we give back? We learned that with our customers when we were growing. If we really took care of our customers, then they'd take care of us. And we adopted that culture with our people, and it really has made a difference for us.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I mean, it just sounds like you guys are so invested in pouring into the people that work for you guys from really start to finish. You provide those career paths and the training and the even the relaxing moments to kind of take your mind off of work. So I know all of those play really an integral part into keeping people happy and keeping people trained and looking forward to that next step and how they can keep growing with you guys. And that's really how you build that culture, to keep the same people and grow upon them and bring in more people. That's really cool to hear that. I've done a few of these podcasts so far, and it's kind of the first time that I've heard that, some of the things that you guys are doing for your employees. So really cool to hear there. I guess, Brad, is there kind of really anybody maybe in particular on the team? You don't have to name any names, but that's kind of had a success path at Greenworks where they maybe started somewhere, kind of really low on the totem pole and have worked their way up maybe to a management or leadership position, that you could tell us about, or maybe kind of a success story about somebody in your team.
Honestly, we try to promote from within as much as we can. So I could highlight several people, that have done that. And I'm one of the stories, and I'm not trying to talk about myself, but, I can get a little more in depth about my story. Harmony Brown is our CEO, and she started this in 2009, started with one home inspector, and she was never a home inspector. She wanted to provide home inspectors a place where they could work, where they didn't have to do all the extra marketing and run a business and all those things. So her goal was to help home inspectors to just go be home inspectors. It was a great partnership, and she's done a lot to make us a 360 customer experience. So, when you're doing home inspections, you're telling people things that are going on in their house that are wrong and need to be fixed or addressed, or, or whatever it is. And we got a lot of questions about, hey, okay, that's wrong. Can you help me with that? So we started just trying to help our customers. And we would, if you've ever bought a house in Texas, that there's going to be foundation problems. So, we started an engineering department that started out as a foundation, is one of the main things that we did. Now we do everything now, designs, but, if somebody moves in a house and wants to remodel or add on or something like that, they already know that, we do quality work. We care about our customers, and we know a lot about our business. So, it just made sense for them to come to us to let us help them with that. And then that led into other things. We do a pest control business. We do a environmental, which is the one that I started and built from the ground up. Mold, asbestos, lead, phase inspections, groundwater testing, all the different stuff. And then we also do like a home concierge, and we do handyman, remodels, repairs, builds, everything. So we're really trying to become partners with these clients that are coming to us for home inspections to be lifelong partners in the home. Is there something wrong? Hey, we can help you fix that. If you trust us and you don't want to go trying to find somebody off Angie's list that may or may not work out, or, sorry, maybe I shouldn't list any specific ones, but, any of these websites or, just call somebody out of the phone book. You just don't know what you're going to get. So at least people know that they get to come to a company that they've already built some trust and relationship with. So that's kind of what we try to do. Some companies do some of that. Not all of them, there's not a lot that integrate all of it. And it's kind of the reason that, Harmony got the 40 under 40. And, I think 2020, we were 1,200 on the Inc. 5,000 of the fastest growing privately owned companies in the nation. And that's all due to just basically taking care of our people and taking care of our clients.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. You guys are, it's full circle. Take care of the people that work for you, provide that culture that they want to be there, and then they turn around and give it to the people that are coming to you for your services, and so they see it and they feel it. And I'm sure you see it and I'm sure you hear about it, but it's probably unnoticed a lot of the times, the impact that you guys are providing to the people that are coming to you for services just because of what you guys do for your clients. So it sounds like you guys have a great place to work. You guys are growing, you're investing in your people, you're investing in the community. And so, I'm really glad we were able to have you guys here on the Localpreneur Show to share some of that. So, whoever watches this can hear your story and hear the story about you guys, and look into to Greenworks and maybe try and make a model of, for their own based off of what you guys are doing. So, Brad, is there anything else that you want to highlight or share before we jump off here today?
Yeah, I just try to kind of answer your question a little more thoroughly. I talking about the path. We try to tell our people when they come in, if you come here and you have a skill set or an idea that you want to do, we foster entrepreneurship is what we call it. And it's being an entrepreneur within Greenworks. If you want to do it, we'll see if it makes it work. We give them that opportunity, and we tell them, you really can shape your role in your career here. And, I'm an example of that, like I said, along with several others who've started out. I came in when we had 6 or 7 home inspectors, and, we've got over 56 now, I believe. We went from February, from 55 to employees till now we have around 100. We just, we grow and do what?
This year?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, you're moving that fast. Obviously, people we need leaders and people in position. So we just tell people, hey, you can choose what you want to do here. I've joked with them that, if somebody came in with the skill set to get us to another planet and build a habitat up there, Greenworks would be inspecting it right off the bat, as soon as they started building it. But I came in with 6 or 7 inspectors, ended up having a meeting with Harmony about 3 months in, because normal people just call the CEO and says, hey, I want to talk to you. But, not only did she meet with me, we probably spent an hour and a half or more having a conversation. She took notes, and really was listening to me. That open-mindedness was, one of the things that really kind of sold me on Greenworks. And then the fact that, now I probably didn't have all the best gyms in the world coming in, or anything that they, some things they probably were already thinking about, just hadn't got to. But, you see some of that stuff implemented later, and she started giving me more responsibility and opportunities as soon as, we started having these conversations, and she knew that I wanted to be a bigger part of it and to offer that to people below me, because I've went from a home inspector all the way up to running an entire environmental vertical for the company. And I could say that about several other people in our company that are there. There's only a few of them in the beginning who were up there at the top, and they're still here. So everybody's been kind of promoted from within, and that's kind of what we want to do and where we want to stay.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. I like the idea of that entrepreneur program you have. Just you're building leaders. I mean, and you attract, when you offer these sorts of things, you attract the people that want to be there. They want to grow, they want to learn, that they're in it for the long haul. So like I said it already, you guys are doing the right things that I can see and from what I hear. So, Brad, really appreciate you having you here on the Localpreneur Show and featuring Greenworks. And so we would love to chat with you more in the future, whether it be on another episode or off episode, but would love to learn more about you guys. So any last final thoughts, comments before we close up here on this episode of the Localpreneur Show?
I'm just fortunate to be part of a great company that has some of the same things that I really believe in. I kind of, started a self-improvement journey while I was here, and it led me a long way. So I, found out that listening to audiobooks in the truck while I was driving caused a lot less road rage, and, I was really pushed by the people around me and above me to do more. So, if people can't, come to work for Greenworks or whatever, it really is just find somewhere where people who are willing to invest in you, who care about your growth. And that's really what's important to me, and that really is what's showing that we can really grow as a team.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. You know, I've had my fair share of jobs, and I can say about this job here, it's a similar kind of atmosphere here. You know, everybody's plugged in, everybody's willing to learn and wanting to learn and invest in each other. So it's, you know, it's a great place to be. So Brad, thanks again. I appreciate you sharing everything about yourself and Greenworks, and thanks for joining the Localpreneur Show.
Thank you.
Thanks again for listening to the Localpreneur Show. For more of our daily content, feel free to check out Josh or Austin's LinkedIn.